So today we're going to be showing you how to find your natural fighting stance. I personally prefer a mix between karate and mixed martial arts stance. So karate stance is usually going to be shoulder width apart, pretty wide, and pretty low. Kung Fu stances are going to be a lot lower, more to the ground. It's going to tire out your legs and knees. When I was practicing Kung Fu, I found that my legs were the first things to fatigue because I was so low to the ground. You don't want to be standing straight up. Muay Thai, Taekwondo, a lot of stances that focus on kicks and prioritize kicking over punching are going to be more higher up. However, the mixed martial arts stance is better because I think it keeps you from getting toppled over. It keeps you balanced, so that way you're not able to be pushed off your center of gravity. You're not able to be pushed down to the ground. Legs aren't able to be kicked out from underneath you. You're not able to get tripped up as easy. But from Taekwondo, Muay Thai stance, going to be closer, not as wide, going to be higher up. And it's mostly just to get these higher head kicks. These higher kicks in. Now, being low, you can still get the same effect and the same kicks. However, it does seem like it's a little bit slower. I feel more balanced though, and I feel safer throwing kicks from a lower stance than a higher stance. When I throw from a higher stance, I feel like if someone was to counterattack, they could easily sweep my leg or push me off balance if they rush me and were able to topple me. However, if I throw from the low stance, I can't get as high as I'd like. However, it's effective. I got bend in my knee, I'm lower, and I have more stability, and I wind up often landing in my same stance. I think this is the perfect center of balance, mostly because it gives you a good balance between using your feet and using your hands. Whether it be kicks, I feel like I have a lot of balance here, and I can bring it right back. You can also kick, drop, and you're still wide in your stance. And this is what you'd have to work on. You need to work on moving around and keeping this stance. So I can bring my feet in at any time and I still have my teeth. Here, got my teeth. Here, I have my teeth. Now it's not a perfect tee because your foot's still off center a little bit. It's going to give you more of that balance for forward and backward. And it's basically, you can find if you're in the right stance, if you go forward and swing around, and you notice how I get lower to the ground as I'm trying to do that because I can't stand up and do this without falling back here. I'm going to find my natural fighting stance. First, I'm going to take my foot out from my tee, angle my toe halfway, bend my knees, keeping shoulder width apart. I can go a little bit wider if I want. If it seems too wide for you guys, you can narrow it and come up, adjust it however you want. This is your natural fighting stance. I'm going to Tom will come over here. He's going to push me around a little bit, make sure I found my natural stance and I have good balance. Go ahead and push me around. So here we are. I'm going to push around a little bit. Now the more I come up, keep pushing me. If I stand up, I'm following a lot more. Go ahead and push me. And that's over. So you need to make sure you're keeping bending your knees, you're keeping your center of balance low to the ground. This also helps, which was mixed martial arts and karate stance. This is kind of a blend between them. This is what I found to love myself. It helps, come here, Tomlin. So if he's here, we're fighting, and he go for a grapple, go for a takedown, whatever. If I'm lower, I can get even lower and help defend myself, go forward. Now from a high stance, you could say you could sprawl. However, go for a takedown. I could sprawl, but 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna have enough time to sprawl and he's already in and I'm high up. It helps because I'm short, I might be able to get that sprawl off quicker, but if I'm taller and I'm standing straight up, or I'm like this, or I go for a kick and he goes low, there's no time to recover from that. So I'm here, he's in his stance. If I go for a jab, notice how my stance maintains. I'm still shoulder width apart, my foot is at an angle, I'm still able to make this tee. So from here, you can see on the bag, come in, foot, angle, foot, hang forward. Everything starts from the ground up. I'm pushing from the ground towards my opponent. I'm rotating my hips, rotating my shoulder. Everything comes into the jab, and we'll go over how to jab, how to throw a reverse, how to throw a roundhouse. We'll go over all these moves. But for now, you have to find your balance before you can work on anything else. If you don't have balance, you don't have a form, you're gonna get beat. Okay, come do your stance. All right, so we're gonna put Tomlin in his stance. We're gonna let him find his center of balance. So go ahead and make your tee with your feet and then shoulder width. Cross his foot just a little bit. Now do you feel comfortable right there? Do you wanna go wider? How are you feeling?
I'm comfortable here.
Comfortable here? All right, I'm gonna go around him. I'm gonna push a little bit. Seems pretty stable. He's got good core balance. He's tightening his core. Really good stability on that.
How do you figure out which stance is best for you?
So I usually just bend my knees. I don't know, slight bend, not a full squat. but kind of like a partial squat. And that way I got good balance because every movement's going to come from the hips and from the ground up. So from here, I'm going to push off my back foot, and we'll go over how to do jabs and reverses. And I'll throw. And I'm still in my stance. I still got good balance. Now if I'm up here, I can't drive to the ground as much. There's a lot of excess movement in my hips. So if I'm low, here, I'm still in stance. I still got my teeth. And you also gotta watch out if you're R squatted down, you won't go down too low. So that's gonna set your head up closer for head kicks. So you gotta find a good balance as far as how far is too low and how far is too high up.
What happens if you can't find your balance in the fight?
It's gonna happen after you take a good hit. So you get hit, you block up, you cover up, and you're just getting away from the aggressor. And not even in the ring, this could be, self-defense. You're gonna get dazed. You're gonna try to get away from getting hit. So you're gonna keep backing up. You just keep blocking, get low. Don't stand up, don't cower, and don't turn your back on the aggressor or the opponent. Because even if you close your eyes, turn your back on the monster, it's still there and it's still coming for you. So anything else?
What's some good ways you can practice on getting your balance and keeping that in a fight?
So we got some drill work that we do. This was mostly utilized with my Kung Fu when I was working on keeping my body low to the ground, which was abnormal for me at the time. I would rotate in these grids like this, and I go everywhere. Sometimes we hop around here. They don't have to hop around obviously, but that was Kung Fu. But we move around these grid lines, keeping our form, and that way it practices. Instinctively, I keep my head up, I'm looking around, I want to go towards this workbench. I want to take a foot here, and I'm still in my form.